All right, I'm on D40. Hopefully that's the right dock. I actually nailed the landing on that, so that's good. Don't crash into the boats that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, John. There's a stress, don't die. And then there's a stress, don't crash into a boat you can't afford to fix. Which is pretty much every boat, including my own. We'll get there though. We're winning. I feel a little bit like a hobbit. Where I'm off on an adventure, but I still miss the Shire. When we're getting ready to set sail is we've got to get stuff put away. The bike goes down below here. All right, so as usual, a little bit of drama. Not much. Just heading into Fulford Harbor. Fulford Harbor. Gonna ride the bike there, get some groceries, try to find a shower, some other stuff. Try to find a bakery. So I've heard through the grapevine that there's a freshwater spring right here. Get rid of this crappy old city water and go try to find it. I don't know. Irrigation control valve. Found it. It's kind of a fancy irrigation control valve, or kind of a fancy spring. Oh, that is good. Okay, so I'm just gonna ride into Fulford Harbor. Supposedly like 20-minute ride, so that doesn't seem too bad. Looks farther than that on the map, but we'll see. And I'll take you with me. We'll see what we see. This road is so amazing. It starts off sort of in this backcountry setting. That's an old agriculture parcel that's now provincial park. And Burgoyne Bay, where the boat is parked, is obviously back that way. And so the road just starts off as this sort of pastoral forest road, and then quickly goes down into, you know, more modern agriculture. So it's just beautiful. I'll try to show you. roads that I've seen are just covered with farm stands, small businesses that have become big businesses. It's a really inspiring place to be. Salt Spring Island. This road is just dotted with little farms and churches. There's a shipwright that we just passed back there, so little cottage industry. This road just drops down into Fulford. I'm not going to ride it and videotape because it's steep and there's lots of traffic and it just gets dangerous. So yeah, so welcome to Fulford. Salt Springs sure has a vibe to it. Just old shacks and beautiful businesses. Clothing. The cafe that I just bought my latte from was just amazing. Beautiful place. Fulford Harbor on Salt Spring Island. So there's the Morningside Organic Cafe where I went into. It's just made of recycled building materials and driftwood, and it's just beautiful. Post office, stores. Something special about churches, cemeteries. You can just see the history behind it. But the one thing that strikes me every time I visit an old cemetery is just the fleeting thing that is life. You know, you can see graves and gravestones, and most of us are used to seeing those, and you can see the dates, the names and the dates where people lived and died. But then you come across these where they are just forgotten to time. And it makes you wonder if anybody knows who is in that grave. And does it matter? Almost a century and a half of burials in here, and these are just the ones that you can see here are the most recent ones. Although that one isn't. That one's a good one. 1892. Perhaps it was redone, but yeah, interesting stuff. I think it's interesting anyways. We're used to thinking in terms of our lives being permanent and for being remembered for things. But the reality is that we just won't be remembered. No matter what we think, eventually we will all be forgotten. It's life affirming to me. It's not depressing at all. It just means that you've got this one chance to make things really count and to really enjoy yourself. It's such a miracle that we're here at all to experience this stuff. So anyways, that's the way I see it. Oh my goodness, gale just blew into the bay here. The boat's just rocking and weaving. Just always makes me worry a little bit because, you know, there's these disaster stories. Once you get into the sailing community, you see it all the time where anchors let go or anchor roads let go. So a rope that is used for an anchor isn't called a rope, it's called a rode, R-O-D-E. So you hear about anchor lines letting go And now that I say that, there's a boat up on the beach right now. So it looks like it's a swing keel. So maybe they beached it on purpose. But it's definitely up on the beach. The tide is coming down now, so I'm not quite sure what's happening there. I just noticed it, so maybe I should wheel over there, although I don't see anybody around. Anyways, I'm keeping an eye on my boat here, making sure that the anchor stays intact. It's really blowing hard. Today is all about the water. I'm out of water on the sailboat. And I also haven't had a shower in like 3 days. So that's one of the things about living on the hook in this sailboat, at least anyways, is it's got a shower. I need to figure out how to make it work. I guess it's not that hard. And I didn't have a hose to fill up the water tank. I left my hose in the truck back at Shelter Island. And in Maple Bay, there was no hardware store or anything to pick up a new hose. So anyways, I just figured for the few days out in the wild until I get to Sidney, I would just make do with the jug for drinking water. And so I just asked around some of the local guys, or a local guy, and I found a spring for the drinking water. So that's where I'm headed now, up this pretty good hill. And then I've got a surprise for later to take care of the shower thing. This is an old homestead. Hard to say from when, but it doesn't look that ancient. But anyways, wherever there's a homestead or a farm, there had to be water. So in this case, it's a spring. At some point in time, this would have been something more rudimentary than it is now, but somebody's improved it. And yeah, pretty hidden. No signs or anything, so just word of mouth. So anyways, it's kind of interesting to be in this old farmstead. You can just, picture the activity. I'm not sure where the house was, but chicken coop. September 30th, 1951. Maybe 6. And a family dog, maybe. And the concrete was still wet. Stuff like that's just really cool. Yeah, it's hard to know what this was. This, some sort of workshop. Yeah, at one point in time, this would have been a really beautiful farmstead. Beautiful view. 1956, those trees wouldn't have been there. Different trees, maybe. It's interesting to come to this place today and just think about, you know, where I am and what I'm doing and things like that. And you know, you come to this abandoned farm and, you know, I've just spent my entire life on a farm. And, you know, so I can't help but miss it. I do miss being on a farm or a cabin or something like that. You know what I mean? Like homesteading kind of stuff. So who knows? Maybe one day I will do that again. I feel a little bit like a hobbit where I'm off on an adventure, but I still miss the Shire. Squeaky clean drinking water for several days. That was nice. That felt nice. That water was just the perfect temperature on a hot day. Grabbed a few twigs to be able to light a fire in the morning. I'm shocked at how fast the tide comes up. I beached the tender quite a ways up on the beach. Took off up the stream just to try to find a bigger waterfall source that I could stand up. And by the time I got back, like maybe 15, 20 minutes at most, the tender had just started floating. So you gotta be careful of that. Have to stop. I knew it would, which is why I came back. Okay, the first thing we gotta do getting ready to set sail is we got to get stuff put away. The bike goes down below here. And then we just make sure that things are battened down in the cabin. Things, you know, like this sort of stuff. If you get into any sort of weather at all, any sort of waves, or if you get into some wind that heels the boat over, then everything goes flying across the cabin. So not too worried about that today. Gentle breeze down. So today I'm leaving Burgoyne Bay on Salt Spring Island, and I'm making my way towards Sidney, Victoria. Not much, you know, it's 13 miles, so it's not a big deal. But when I get there, there's a lot of boat traffic, a lot of heavy ferry traffic. That's the main terminal, Schwartz Bay, for ferries between Vancouver Island, Victoria, and 2 big ferry terminals in Vancouver. So yeah, it's I'm a little nervous about that. It's just, you know, the first times for everything, right? It's, you know, not that I'm worried about it, but you just don't want to make mistakes. Those captains, those people operating those big boats are trying to do their job, and, you know, people like us get out there and get in the way. I just want to make sure I do things right. So anyways, so yeah, I'm going to weigh anchor here in a little bit, get everything organized, and be on my way. Okay, got the tender motor up on the mount here. It's actually not that heavy, so, and my hockey skills give me some balance when I'm in the tender there. I can actually maneuver pretty good standing on the tender. That's tightened down, good to go, so that's ready. And then I just drag the tender behind me. I do want to figure out how to put it up on the deck eventually, but I won't worry about that today. So yeah, just getting ready to weigh anchor here now. So just got to double check, triple check everything, make sure everything's good to go. We're underway, anchor's in. Here out of Burgoyne Bay into Satellite Channel, headed towards Sidney, and it never ceases to amaze me with sailing. So far in my experience, well, I'm exaggerating because the other day was perfect winds, but man alive, the wind is just always, you know, in a non-sailing position. No matter which direction I face. So I came around, I thought I had good winds. Like I looked at the forecast, it was saying something different than what I was experiencing in the bay. And it turns out the forecast is right. So the wind is just dead against me the whole way. So it's not much of a sailing day today. It's going to be a motoring day today. But anyways, I have a reservation at the marina, Canoe Cove Marina in Sidney for today at noon, and I just need to be there today. I got lots to do. I got laundry to do. I haven't had a proper shower in days. I need groceries badly. I need to make some repairs on the boat, so I need some parts. So yeah, just need to be there today. And then tomorrow is an important day for me, and have a meeting friend at the airport. So yeah, just want to be ready for all of that. So today, this afternoon and tomorrow morning are just getting things ready for a few days in Sydney. So yeah, unfortunately today is just going to be a motoring kind of day. But I'm doing about 4 knots, so it'll take me a couple hours to get there, so it's all good. I've only had 1 coffee this morning, and dead calm seas, no wind. of some sort. We're good. Coffee's the priority. This is my favorite coffee. It's out of the mocha pot. Wrong burner. So one of the things I'm learning to do now, getting in the habit of things, is to get to know which side of the boat I'm going to be docking on, for instance. If I'm at anchor, it doesn't matter. But today, heading into Canoe Cove, according to the map that I got from them and my dock, my slip assignment, I'll be docking on the starboard side. So one of the things that I've gotten used to doing, or I'm getting used to doing, is preparing well ahead of time. I'm about to enter, well, it's not active passage, but anyways, it's part of active passage where all the ferries come and go out of Victoria, Schwartz Bay, and it's going to be very heavy traffic, I think. I'm expecting. So what I'm going to do now is, it's around that point right there is where I'm going to be turning or going around. So before I get there, I'm going to set out my fenders and make sure that they're ready to go on the starboard side. And yeah, just confirm my slip number and things like that. Just get ready so that it's not a big panic. I've had those situations in the past where it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot to put out this, or I forgot to put out my lines for docking. So anyways, yeah. So it feels good to start establishing these little habits and thinking, at least anyways, that I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, so this is where I'm going to have to start paying attention here. Just headed into, I think I'm in Satellite Channel right now. Anyways, just headed into this high traffic area where all the ferries are coming and going. And yeah, it's dangerous and worrisome. Well, for me, when I'm new, it's worrisome. So just trying to time it, I guess, a bit here. I just talked to Rick and just was sort of asking his advice, and he's experienced getting yelled at by ferries in the past, and so learning from his past experiences, and yeah, just trying to stay out of their way, trying to stay out of the current they produce, all of those things. So I'll just do my best. Okay, this feels like pure chaos to me. Small ferry there, gonna try to go around behind her. Big ferry there, staying to her starboard, and then small ferry there docked that may be coming out any minute now. So yeah, just trying to stay out of everybody's way. What could go wrong? I'm so Canadian. My biggest worry is getting yelled at by a ferry whistle. So that's my biggest worry. Just want to be polite, courteous, like Canadians are. Sometimes I think I'm a little too Canadian. Anyways, I think I got this. Navy app, the chart was like completely wrong. That was weird. I don't know if the GPS just wasn't keeping up, or yeah, it just wasn't making sense. Where it said I was and what I was looking at were not matching. So luckily this boat ahead of me, Maturua, was pulling out, and I just asked, which way to Sidney? Jeez. So I gotta figure that out, because that's not good. We can't have that. So you can disregard my rant earlier about Savvy Navvy being wrong, because it took me right here and I just wasn't recognizing it. Here we are, Canoe Cove. So now I have to dock, and I really just can't videotape and do this at the same time, at least not right now. I know roughly where I'm supposed to be, D40. There's D-Dock, I see it. So I just need to concentrate here now. I'm supposed to be on D40. 96. Seems like I got a long ways to go. And not that far to get there to the shore, so I don't know. Trust the map. Don't crash into the boats that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, John. You got this. You got this. There's always a stress, it seems. There's a stress, don't die. And then there's a stress, don't crash into a boat you can't afford to fix. Which is pretty much every boat, including my own. We'll get there though. We're winning. as usual, a little bit of drama, not much. And also as usual, it turned out just fine. So here at Canoe Cove for a few days, and I'm really looking forward to it.